Since I started this channel only just this week, the only episodes for Season 4 of Attack on Titan that are actually out at the moment are the first and second episodes. So usually, these reviews will be about 4 to 5 minutes long each, give or take, and uploaded either on the day or the day after the episode releases. But using all common sense, I'm going to go ahead and review both the episodes that we've been given so far, just in this one video. So to start, obviously we've been introduced to a secondary main cast now, the Eldian soldiers forced to fight by Marley. This main cast consisting of Gabi, Falco, Udo, Zofia, Magath, Colt, Piek, which is the Cart Titan, and Porco, who ate Ymir, who is now indeed the Jaw Titan. We're given a time which is 4 years after the last episode that takes place in Season 3, when Marley is toward the end of a war with the Middle East. This gives us an insight into the fact that there are more countries in the Attack on Titan verse. We are also displayed with the information that Gabi is supposed to be the successor to Reiner for the Armored Titan, and Falco is supposed to be the successor to Zeke for the Beast Titan. We also find out how Zeke turns Eldians into Titans, which is by a loud scream. We can also easily observe that Reiner seems to be completely over fighting and living a life of war. Zeke and Reiner then end the battle with the Middle East. At the end of the episode, we also see an ominous figure who is indeed Jan. In episode 2, we are shown the Marleyan government alongside Zeke in discussion about how they should be accounting for the opposing countries trying to overthrow them. Since we are also told that many countries do hate Marley, which I theorize is because they either steal from other countries or due to a lack of resources, which is mentioned somewhere in the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan. Or perhaps they are just looked upon as dishonorable for keeping a human race in captive slavery, but I lean more towards the first. Zeke then proposes an idea to the Marleyan government that he and the other Titan shifters that are currently in Marley are to go to Paradise and steal the founding and attack Titan from Eren Yeager and potentially steal some resources as well. We then actually find out that Gabi is indeed Reiner's cousin. The warriors and soldiers then head back from war back to their hometown, which is known as Liberio. The Eldian soldiers celebrate the success of defeating the Middle East. However, in conversation with Reiner, Falco begins to feel jealous or envious or cautious of sorts. Maybe even scared for Gabi, when he even says that she will only live to 27 if she isn't shredded by Titan cannons, that is. Reiner then responds completely infuriated with anger, however it's more a convincing and indiscreet statement that Colt should be wanting to inherit the Armored Titan so that Reiner's cousin Gabi isn't hurt or killed. Reiner also says this to keep Colt in check, because if the Marleyan generals were ever to hear Colt insulting one of the 9 Titan shifters, he would have undoubtedly been killed. Everyone reunites with their families, and we even see Zeke's grandparents, who are Grisha's parents and also Eren Yeager's grandparents. Then, for the most important thing yet, we see Eren Yeager. He's disguised among a line of soldiers who have undergone severe trauma. Reiner and Gabi then return home to have dinner together as a family, and we see and hear the thoughts of the Eldians inside Marley. We also hear about how they passionately believe that Eren Yeager and the rest of the people on Paradise are now known as the Devils of Paradise, and are even perceived to be people who abandoned the War of Eldia years and years ago, and that the savage intent of the 9 Titan shifters still runs through their blood, despite the fact that King Fritz simply didn't want war. Now, with Marley reinforcing this idea that those on Paradise are evil, it encourages Eldians to free their race of such reputation and also retrieve the founding and attack Titan. Reiner also becomes pretty much just a drama queen and talks about how Sasha didn't halve a potato correctly, which was all the way back in Season 1. Zeke then also proceeds to exclaim that "not in this room," which sparks the Marleyan government's concerns. The episode ends with Reiner basically saying, "Do I really have to go back to the walls?" and yada yada. Anyway, now time for my thoughts on both episodes so far. I think the animation for both episodes have been really, really good. I still think that Studio Wit outshines Studio Mappa in every single aspect except pacing. Mappa paces just as well as they do. The first episode honestly felt like 5 minutes in total. I also think that some of the animation feels very much overdone. They try adding too many movements into a compact one scene, just like this scene, which looks pretty odd. However, these 2 scenes here really do look fantastic in my opinion, the way that Zeke's hair moves and the blankets ripple in the air. I think the colour palette is pretty good, however Wit still outshines more in that aspect. MAPPA do an absolutely fantastic job at background CGI and animation, and I think maybe they would even surpass WIT by just a hair in that aspect. I think that the new CGI Titans would actually look pretty good. Reiner's Armored Titan looks phenomenal, however the Beast Titan looks slightly more questionable, and by questionable I mean slightly disappointing to what I thought it could be. When initially watching the new opening for Season 4 for the first time, I felt it really wasn't much at all. However, I think many can agree or maybe disagree when I say that the more I listen to it, it actually gets better. Overall, MAPPA is adapting really well considering the amount of pressure they have to and compare to WIT. Thank you very much for tuning in, and check in next week for a recap review of AOT Season 4 Episode 3. Thank you and goodbye.